Howdy there, ladies and gentlemen, it's White Lightning. Welcome back to Space Engineers. Great to be with you this evening. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more Space Engineers videos. Today I'm going to be working on, well, as you can see here, I am standing in what appears to be a nicely completed little kitchen and living room space. That's right, I have gone into this is one of the modules or capsules or whatever parts of the base that I built last time, and I've gone into it and made it into what will ultimately be kind of a common area, mess area type thing for our base. Kind of tried to duplicate some of the cool things that I've seen done in the trading stations with the kitchen implements and stuff like that. So we've got the 3 stoves and cabinets, and I don't know why we need 3 stoves if we only have 4 chairs to cook for people, but I don't know, like, it seemed to make sense and it seems to work. Kind of like this recessed area back here. I'd put a fridge back here or something, but there's no fridge model. So we're just gonna go with the 2 stoves for now, and somebody can be cooking here and hand food across the counter. These guys on in the chairs there. A couple of planters for decor. I am gonna paint this at some point, and then we've got this little couch here where we can sit and in first person enjoy some Star Wars on the TV there. See, look at that. Doesn't that look nice? That's Whip's Image Converter is the software I'm using. It's a little program that you can turn an image into some text that you can copy and paste into a text panel and then have anything show up. So who knows if that'll be a copyright strike against me. I don't really care because it's freaking awesome. Now I have X-Wings in my base. How cool is that? We can watch A New Hope or something. Yes, fantastic. Anyway, so today we'll be working on a new medical room, which I desperately need because I keep running out of, well, why is this not? Why are you yellow? I have questions. Is it because you're just hanging loose? Because it kind of looks like it's because you're just hanging loose. Yep, that's why it was. Perfect. Yes, today I will be working on a medical room because we desperately need one of those. Let me just take a little flight out here and show you guys kind of what we're dealing with here. This is, the structure so far. Still got that nice rib type look, which I quite like, and I'm going to continue using for now at least. Like I say, quite like it. I'm going to go ahead and close this off once and for all in this area here, so that we're not looking at the corridor that I have running between the pressurized dome section of the base and this section here. Could put a little turret down there, but it wouldn't have very good line of fire or anything, so I don't know that there's that much of a point. Speaking of turrets, I am probably going to need them at some point, which is great, right? I did something that may be a mistake, we'll see. I added all of the NPC mods in the custom counters, modular encounters collection. Well, not all of them. I see we got that nice glass area. We can stand there in the kitchen and look out at the greenhouse and then at the planet down below. How nice does that look? I think it looks pretty good. And then this is the second module, second capsule, whatever, right next to it. And this is where we're going to build our medical room. What was I saying before? I don't know. I get sidetracked. Sorry, guys. Yeah, let's go ahead, and I guess there's nothing to stop us from just getting started with the medical room. I'm thinking it'll go on in this half, because what I'm going to end up doing is building some sort of a control tower or something like that, perhaps down here on this end, that really gets me some altitude, gets up there, and has some nice glass and some control roomy looking things. And then I'm going to build some landing pads. These landing pads are going to be out in that direction. So I'm probably going to need more build and repair systems, more gravity generators to actually reach out there, but we will cross that bridge when we come to it, perhaps literally, if I end up using the bridge pieces, the catwalk pieces, that is. So, as far as this stuff goes, I'm thinking, so like I say, I want the medical room to be back here. I'm thinking a row of cryo bays, and I'll put them on that edge, and the cryo bays have to be connected up with conveyors, and so we're going to go ahead and do that. I'm hoping that this is actually a square piece and is out. Nope, it's not quite. Oh, dang. You know what, that's okay. We can just put a conveyor there, and we could even put a turret there. Again, some people were saying like, hey, don't put your turrets right next to your equipment. That's valid, and I've got a couple of turrets next to equipment there because turrets tend to get targeted first. Because this is not a PvP server, I'm a little less inclined to worry about that. Like, it's still definitely something to consider, and I do thank you guys for pointing that out. It's just going to end up being a little bit easier to build when I'm not worried about turrets and those kinds of considerations. So I might might ignore your very good and very valid advice. No, sorry if that's what we end up doing. I do apologize. Like I do appreciate the advice. Like I say, just might not be what I end up going with. Looks like I am out of construction components, which is kind of weird. Yeah, no, I was totally out of construction components. Yeah, let's get some more of those building up. Yeah, I remember what I was going to say. I loaded in the modular encounters spawner with the Reddit custom encounters and a bunch of other Lucas's mods like that. For those of you who may be familiar, well, for those of you who may not be familiar, Lucas is a space engineer's icon, god. I don't know. What do we call Lucas, guys? Super cool guy who makes a lot of really good mods that a lot of people, including some really high-profile YouTubers, use. Like the... are you kidding me? I don't have interior plates. That's frustrating. Need to put a cargo container down here too. And there's the sewer pipe in my room. I'm sorry, guys. That'll go away soon. In like a week. That won't be a problem anymore. I promise. But yeah, I'm thinking... Okay, so we'll have the conveyor running over there. And then I'm thinking, like I say, some cryopods. Down here, a row of 4 cryopods. That feels appropriate. That's not too many. Let's grab our cryopods here. Cryo chambers, rather. Call them cryopods, I don't know why. And we do have... Oh, wait. Okay, yes. Okay, so cryopods do have the dealio on the back. That's right. And I am out of interior plates. So I'm just going to run to a cargo port, which, again, I just really need one of those closer to where... Oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. I need one of those closer to where I'm working over there. That'll come in time, especially when that turns into a hangar area or a landing pad area. Let's go ahead and find ourselves some interior plates. I've got some small steel tubes on me that I don't need. I'll keep those girders. I'll get rid of the organic waste and stuff like that, and then I'll fill up the rest of me, which is not very much, actually, with those interior plates. Okay, that'll be good for now. Yeah, because that's what I'm building with a lot of. Okay, great. Okay, and we fly back. It looks like the sun is about to come up and start lighting up this side of the base, which will be really nice. Yeah, so we should, if the mods, and I checked, most of the mods have been updated within the last month or two, since the economy update, so most of them should be working. So we should start seeing some more and different enemies spawning, including enemies that are going to come and try to mess us up. Which will be really fun, right? Super fun. I'm wondering if I should put the medical room itself. Where should I... Let's go back and grab our cryopods. We got the cryopods like that. We also have the medical room like this. Ooh, digital linear console. That looks fancy. And a 6x3x5 medical bay room. What is this? What type of mod is this coming from? Oh, this is from the mod that makes small block versions and small grid versions of all the large blocks. So I can make a small ship and put a little medical room in it, which is really nice. So if you hear a noise, I forgot to shut my door, and now my cat is sitting on my lap, and he might get a little bit testy. Okay, so we can have a row of cryopods like so. Yeah, we could put just like 3 cryopods in, like this. And then the medical room itself can go here-ish. No, that's suboptimal. You know, I might as well just keep building a little bit out, huh? Medical room can go somewhere like that. Yeah, and then I will go ahead and put this 4th cryopod in. What am I missing? Actually get these things done. Motors, medical components, and we are getting to the point where I'm starting to run out of the components from all those ships that I've salvaged and stuff. Let's grab some more motors and build those. Yeah, so we may soon see. I didn't add the Reaver mod or the Corruption mod, and so we may not get super intensely attacked by the AI. Give me like 30 of those, please, and actually prioritize those. Please? Please, assembler? I know I have silver. Not very much silver, apparently. Gosh, yeah, we're gonna have to go out for some more components at some point. So that is a bit of a problem. Okay, yeah, and then I can put the medical room itself more like, not quite that close, but here-ish. Yeah, and that'll look good. Okay, perfect. And then we'll want a door, which for the door I'll just use the, probably just the generic sliding door. Yeah, something like that will work great. That'll turn into a door here in, momentarily. Oh, jetpack, save me. And let's wipe out that conveyor tube there. Yeah, so after I get the base kind of a little more squared away, I'm planning on, and actually really excited for, making a small ship. And I say small ship, it's not going to be that small of a small ship, because I want to make kind of like, I don't know, Millennium Falcon-esque? Something like that. Am I out of interior plates too? Gosh, dang it. Well, let's hop into one of these for a second here. And give me... Cat, you are such an annoying little guy. He's got... I feel bad when I talk about him, my cat, because he's got kidney problems, and he's probably only going to be around with us for another year or two. But gosh dang it, if he isn't the most pesky thing. Like, if there ever was a cat that really acted more like a dog than a cat, it was this cat, because he's just so clingy 100% of the time. Can't remember where the medical bay port or whatever this thing actually ends up being. Like, is it right here on top on this corner? I think it is. Yeah, this cat is just so friendly, and it's great when I want to snuggle, but when I don't want to snuggle, it's less great. Again, I know I'll miss him when he's gone, which is kind of a sad thing to say, but it's true, and it's going to happen at some point. But hey, for every man upon this earth, death cometh sooner or late, right? That's what we learned from... Oh, geez, where do we learn that from? Lays of Ancient Rome. It is not a pornographic text, contrary to what you may think. Small cargo container, there we go. And we will put a small cargo container down here. I wish there was some block in the game that functioned as a way to draw from the... Like a conveyor block or something like that, that functioned as a conveyor and also had a hatch on it but didn't have any cargo capacity itself, because I don't want cargo capacity right here in my medical room, and I don't necessarily want things sorting into into any into a cargo container here. Like, I don't want ores and stuff magically ending up here. I just want something that I can access from and get the food and the materials and stuff that I need. Sadly, that's not really an option at this point in the game. Wish it was, but alas, it isn't. And then I actually need to wall that off in some way, so let's go ahead and... might end up connecting to you at some point, might not though, so let's go ahead and close that off something like this. And that'll be a nice, modest little medical room that I think will work great for us. And for now, I'll just put in a conveyor junction there, even though I may not necessarily end up connecting anything to it. And continuing on with our kind of ribbed theme. Easiest way in Space Engineers to make something look moderately interesting, I've found, is to just do this. Just slap ribs on it. And it works, especially when it's in contrast with something else. Like the tower I make is not going to have ribs, obviously. Oh man, I could go for some ribs right now. Making me hungry. Yes, we're going to have this nice flat wall, a kind of ugly flat wall there for a minute, but we'll go ahead and leave that. Okay. And so far, things are looking pretty good in here. We've got kind of a lame area up there, which we could greeble a bit. And I am actually going to do that by putting in some blocks like so. Yeah, that'll be fine. And then I need an air vent, at least one air vent, which we put in right there. Something like that works great. And then I'm also going to put in an LCD panel. Actually, I'm not. I'm going to take that apart, and I'm going to put in a text panel instead, which I have here. Yeah, text. No, I guess I will use an LCD panel. Never mind. We're going to put in this LCD panel and weld it up, and then we're going to come in here to content, and I think it's text and images. And then we have a lot of textures, and I have downloaded, ooh, look at this, a graph. Look at this graph. I remove you from selection. Yes, that's fine. So we've got a lot of graphs. We've got some Space Engineers logos. We've got some blueprints. Oh, that's pretty. Look at that. Yeah, this is a mod that should be in the mod list. Nice. That looks super nice. We got Trinity. What I want is something like that. Something that looks appropriately sci-fi-y. There we go. And that toggles through on like a... We'll set it to like a 3-second timer or something like that. There we go. So now we've got this nice kind of sci-fi screen interface type thing, which I think looks pretty good. This all is looking okay. We could even put some of those up there to cover up those conveyors, although I'm not convinced that's the right thing to do at this point. I will, however, go ahead and put down, I think, a desk right here. Oh, that kind of gets in the way of this, though, doesn't it? Yeah, if I wanted a desk, that's not the right place for it. If I wanted a desk, if I truly wanted a desk, I would like make this a little bit bigger of a room. But I'm inclined to not. What I can do is add a couple more LCDs just to liven the place up a little bit, and with these LCDs we'll come into again with text and images. Yeah, LCD sci-fi pack or something like that is what these end up being, is what these are called. And we'll toggle between you like every 4 seconds. And we'll imagine that this is some sort of like super fancy Star Trek information that we're seeing here, right? Like we're in the medical bay, as Star Trek always has to have a medical bay. And let's just add, yeah, and we've got these incomprehensible and somewhat nonsensical images flashing around on the screen, telling us information about something. Don't know what, but something like, yeah, I see exactly what the problem is here. His something scientific jargon, medical jargon, fake element that's made up is levels are too high after being bit by that Danubian hawk spider or something like that. I don't know what. But now, look at this. Now I can, my oxygen was getting low. Now I can just hop in this cryopod and look at this. Oh, and I like how you can see that screen in front of me too. That's awesome. That's great. Okay, now the last step is going to be to add some lights. So probably just the corner lights, and we can just add one or two of these in here to light things up appropriately. We'll put one down here, and we'll put another one across the way right there. And get those welded up. There we go. We've got a little bit of light, not much, so I'm going to go in and I'm actually going to name these, yeah, so it's corner light 5 and 6 that I just placed. Med room lights. We're going to save those so we can make changes to both of them at the same time. We're going to turn up the radius a little bit. We are going to, should I tint them slightly red or something, or is blue a better color for that? Yeah, we're going to tint them slightly blue, and then we're going to turn down the intensity a little bit. So something like that. Still not super bright. So let's come here to, and I'm going to stand here so that I can see over into the medical bay itself. Let's grab those med room lights and turn up the radius. A fair bit more, actually. Yeah, I guess that's the problem with putting those corner lights so high up. And they're still not getting over to that side. So it probably makes sense for me to remove this one and put it in. Oh, that doesn't really work though. I kind of hosed myself. You know what? This LCD can just go, I think. Don't want to go too wild and crazy with the LCD screens, right? And then we'll just place you like so. And then come back to our control panel. Again, angling myself so that I can see over in that direction a little bit. Grab the, oh gosh, lights, bedroom lights, and then this is the corner light that I just edited, so why did, oh gosh, I swear there's something kind of bugged or something with grouping blocks in this game. I don't know what it is about it, but, and actually turn up our red just a little bit to give it a slightly, I had a deep blue a second ago that I kind of liked. Something like that, I think. Feels very Halo-y or something. There we go. Okay, that's a nice blue color there. Very good. Well, that'll work great. Let's jetpack out and see what it looks like from the outside here. A little bit of blue light bleeding through there, which is kind of unavoidable, and I wish that the game didn't work that way, but it does. But we'll be okay. I think we'll be okay. So yeah, I've got me a fancy medical room where I can like come and change my appearance. Although that is super weird to see that. Like the camera is now clipped half out of the wall, so maybe that's a problem. Maybe that means the room itself needs to move or something like that. But I think this will work, you guys. We got room for some friends and cargo access. Everything is hunky-dory. And if I clean this, let's just verify. Yep, looks like we are airtight. Perfect. I'm gonna just go ahead and waste that air. It didn't really fully pressurize, or maybe it did. I don't know. Okay, what do I need next? Bedrooms, living quarters. I'll start on those. Probably won't finish those immediately with you guys here with me, just because we've only got about 10 minutes left in the episode. But I'm going to go ahead and right-click drill this rock down, and I'm going to build this lower module or capsule, or what? It's awkward to try to think of words for what we're actually going to call this gosh dang thing. I don't like how that's working right now. I don't like that this is here, but I guess there's not really much I can do about it. Yeah, we're gonna build some living quarters out now. And I'll go through between episodes and finish things up and get things painted all nice and purty. How far out are we wanting to go? The sky is kind of the limit. I mean, the sky's always the limit. It's Space Engineers. You can do what the heck you want. Go ahead. Oh, I never gave you guys an update on the missing salvage drone. Turns out, also, what is that enemy? Space Pirate Obumbo. The missing salvage drone is over at that location there, 3.27 kilometers away on the other side of the asteroid, and it is missing. I believe it ran out of power because I had set it to autopilot and fly itself back, so I didn't have to go back and fly it back, so that I could just worry about the the miner, getting the miner back, and not have to worry about getting the drone back as well. I need interior plates, that's why I'm here. Doing more than one thing at once is a challenge, let me tell you. Also, why won't you? Oh, there we go. Give me those. Those. Yeah, and I think it ran out of power. Between episodes, I went into creative mode or admin mode and scanned through until I found it. I may or may not recover it just because the way I found it was cheating, right? And yeah, it's resources out there, but it's not a ton of resources. I was just curious more than anything what had happened to that gosh dang thing, and it turns out the AI really sucks at flying at autopiloting. Really, like it's okay at some things and sometimes, but when you ask the drones, any drone you might make, and set on autopilot, when you ask it to do anything, even remotely weird, it really doesn't like it. That's one thing that I think should be coming up on the list of improvements to make to the game as they continue to improve and develop Space Engineers, which is nice that they're doing, by the way, even though we're in the full version now. Nice to be in the full version. Would also be nice to see some things like improvements to drone AI and stuff like that, and autopilot AI. Would be nice to see, just so we don't run into those kinds of problems. But I dream. Not to say that they wouldn't do it. I feel like we've got a pretty good set of devs working on Space Engineers. I have a hard time, so I play Space Engineers, and I talked about this last episode, but I also play the Paradox games. Those are like the two main families of games that I play. And I have a hard time picking what's my favorite. Like, typically when I get tired of Space Engineers, I'll hop over to play one of the Paradox games, grand strategy games like Stellaris or Crusader Kings, or Europe Universalis 4, I think, is the one that I have the most hours in, but Stellaris I've got like 200 hours in, stuff like that. I really quite like the devs for Paradox, and they've recently said, or one of them has recently said, yeah, this is right? Okay, yeah, we're good. One of them has recently said that he's not a fan of paid DLC. He's a fan of content packs. The difference being, like paid content packs. The difference being that, like the way he prefers, he's the one who's working on the Imperator Rome, the head dev for that. He says the way he prefers to run things and would prefer to have the that particular game develop would be to see. Actually, I want to. No, do I want to do this? Maybe not. You know, it might actually end up turning this into its own like cigar shape type thing. I don't know. But the way he says he would prefer to see that game be developed, and games in general, is paid content packs that can maybe add things like mission trees, or definitely like little cosmetic stuff. And Space Engineers is doing that lately, like optional things like the skins and like the DLC packs, and like the deco blocks and stuff like that don't actually affect gameplay, but that are just kind of nice to have for the people that matters to. And if it matters to them, they can buy it, and for the people that doesn't matter to, they don't have to buy it to continue to enjoy the full functionality of the game. And I really appreciate that way of thinking, and really think that's a really sensible way to approach things and not alienate people, because, you know, you got to still keep making money, right? We all acknowledge that. These developers that we love for the work they do have got to keep making money. But when it gets to the point where it feels like they're holding the gaming community hostage, which might be too strong a word for what I'm trying to say, but you guys kind of know what I mean. Like, if it feels like they're holding you hostage, like, to enjoy the game you must pay us an additional $20 after you shelled out, you know, $25 for the base game or something like that, that can start to be a problem for some people. So I appreciate that kind of development strategy. But that's going to have to end it for this episode, you guys. I'm going to have to take off. But hope you have enjoyed things. Thanks for being with me as we got the medical room up and running. And come back next time, and we will... I'm just going to zoom out here for one last look. Yeah, blue light's kind of annoying, but whatever. I'll probably... going too fast past things there. Probably end up slapping some paint on things between episodes, and come back next time, and hopefully we'll finish up with the base building that I'm wanting to do at this stage of the playthrough, and we can progress on to maybe getting started on a small block ship, Millennium Falcon type, something. Not like, when I say Millennium Falcon type, I'm not talking like an exact copy of the YT series or of the Millennium Falcon, but some small ship that I can really customize and greeble and really make my own and make into a solid little ship. So stay tuned for that, guys. Have a fantastic day.